What's going on, everyone? Eric here. Welcome to the channel if you're a new viewer. Um, Back-to-back videos, 2 days in a row. I'm doing good. See if I keep it up. But yeah, so as the title states, I know there's a lot of hype around 30th anniversary, of course, right? And there should be. I mean, it is a milestone for Pokemon and those especially who grew up with it. I know I did. I was collecting back then when I was a kid, and I remember watching the cartoons. I believe it came on in the morning before school. I think I was in fourth grade maybe at the time. A lot of good memories with the base set, Fossil, Jungle. Just going to little card or comic book shops after school. With my mom sometimes, my grandmother, or some of my friends, and we just buy a couple packs. They were like $3 each, I think, give or take, and just ripping packs. Um, Hold on, there's a fly right here. 1 second. I'm leaving that in. I'm leaving that. That fly's been bothering me for like 5 hours. I've been trying to kill that thing. I'm sorry. Hopefully none of you work for PETA. But anyway, yeah, back to Pokemon. But a lot of good memories. Um, Wish I had my cards still from back then, but I don't. I remember my binder. I didn't even play the game. I used to actually just open packs. I did do some trades, as a kid. That's what kids do. But most of my cards, I would just open the pack, put it in a binder, and that's it. And that binder I kept for a long time until I came back um, from the army when I got discharged honorably. Honorably, of course. When I was 22. I'm not 22 anymore. I'm a lot older. Time goes by quick. But I remember just selling it for like nothing on eBay because my focus in my 20s was toys. I was all into toys, like vintage toys, um, especially from like the 80s and 90s, a little early 2000s. And I still do love toys. I have a small collection here, but nothing what I used to have. I used to have tons of stuff. I used to vend toys. I used to like kind of like a small business, buying, selling, trading toys throughout my entire 20s. Um, Had I known, right, I should have been fully focusing on Pokemon, but a lot of us did not know. Um, so yeah, I missed my binder, my original binder, but it is what it is. We don't know everything. We cannot predict the future. But moving forward, 30th anniversary, it is exciting. So I mentioned in my previous video, I'm going to be pretty much just picking up singles for 30th anniversary. Really don't plan on ripping much at all or buying sealed product. Um, but one thing I suggest is that so many people focused on that. I know there are people who have my mindset, but I'm putting it out there anyway. Should be focusing on sets from, I want to say, around 2019 and prior. So that's your Sun and Moon sets. Prior to that, your X and Y sets. And then, prior to that, it's all I guess, I would think, in my opinion, everything prior to X and Y is vintage. Is that safe to say? I mean, everyone might have their own opinion on what vintage is to them. Is like the first couple of sets of vintage, Pokemon, base set, Team Rocket, Jungle Fossil, is that just vintage? I think everything prior to X and Y should be considered vintage at this point. Um, yeah, so you guys should be focusing on that. I mean, the modern stuff, and this is just me, I mean, listen, there's cool cards in modern, don't get me wrong. There's cards that have skyrocketed. I'm sure there's certain cards in Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet that will continue to go up over time, of course. But for me, it's just there's so much of it, and people are going to remember that there's so many people in this hobby at the time, especially Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. So there's going to be a lot of these cards out in the population. Not only that, there's a lot of sealed product, and over time, the sealed product is going to get opened, and more of these cards will be in population. It will increase the population. Things are different than back then, all right? Everyone has a mindset of an investor or grading your card, keeping it nice and clean and mint, keeping it safe and stored. It's not like how it was back when I was a kid, you know. where you didn't really think about that stuff. You just had fun. You opened the packs. You hoped to get a hologram. You were so happy when you got the regular holographic. That's now, it means nothing, right? What is that, like a reverse ball now, something like that? Um, but the main that holo where the window is just a foil, that used to be the thing back in the day for those newer people in Pokemon or the youngsters who don't know that. Um, and that was exciting, you know. But again, you didn't think anything of it. You weren't there to make money back then. You're like, oh wow, this is awesome. I'm gonna tell my friend, or maybe you did play the game. You played with a card. But for me, I just put it in the binder. But I was still excited. You know, between that and watching the cartoon show before or after school, depending when it came on, you know, it was a great time. I remember going and seeing the movie, the first movie in the movie theaters. You know, they had promo codes that they gave to you. I think it was the Mew. Yeah, I think it was the Mew promo code, the movie one, or was it an Entei? I forget. And they might have both been a promo. I don't remember, to be honest, off the top of my head. But yeah, so guys, keep an eye out. If you go to shows, if you're looking online, highly suggest Sun and Moon prior. You know, you can find deals. Um, I have like my own little secrets I like to do, which I mean, I'll tell you. So I go on GameStop. You know, GameStop's getting a lot of heat, especially for their scalping prices. You know, which have recently come down, of course, for 30th. But if you look at their slabs, this is what I do. Again, you don't have to do it. It's hit or miss. If you just select on their graded PSA slabs 8 or 9, because 8 or 9 is still near mint. For me, and I'll show you here in a few minutes, I like to just have close to near mint cards in my binder that I started about a year ago. They're not gradable 10 copies, but I don't want like damaged cards or heavy played cards in my binder. I still want to have clean copies. So you can crack open an 8 or 9, which I do, from GameStop, for example, and put that in your binder. Now, the only thing with GameStop that annoys me, I think they're getting rid of the points. The points used to help often. If you shopped often with GameStop, the points would add up. You even got points when you graded with them. I'm pretty sure that happened to me on a few occasions. You know, when you send a submission to PSA through GameStop, you got a lot of points. And then also with me, when I got my PSA return back, if there were cards that weren't moving or they were lower grades, I would just cut my losses and I would just trade in those PSA slabs for store credit at GameStop because their percentages aren't terrible. If you don't want to deal with people in general, you don't want to negotiate, you don't like to negotiate, you don't want to put it on Facebook Marketplace, you don't want to put it on eBay because of all those damn fees, or like you don't vend and you just want to like get rid of certain slabs and maybe whatever you get for it, and you put it into something nicer or bigger that you really want. It's a good move, and you can still do that with GameStop, and it's quick and easy. You go there, you show them the slabs, they scan them, and you can even do it yourself on GameStop's website. It's pretty much identical. What you put in, the certain number on GameStop's website, it's going to be pretty much similar. The number when you go into store to see the clerk, they're going to put in the same numbers on their computer system. So they'll issue you a gift card, or they can order the card for you at the register. But I like to just get a gift card issued to me, come home, and just take my time looking things up. Because again, going back to the 8 or 9 slabs, GameStop has the price, and you just have to compare prices, what the card is valued at on GameStop's website in a 8 or 9 compared to what it's valued at raw. And you can check places like TCG or eBay sold and completed, and you get an idea, because GameStop could have, say, a PSA 8 or 9. We're talking about a vintage card. Maybe let's just say it's priced at 110 for like a PSA 8 or 9. But then you look up the raw price of that particular card. Say it's like $50. Then it's not worth it to do it. But sometimes there are exceptions. There are cards, vintage cards, nice cards, clean, in an 8 or 9 that could be priced at $80, $110, $120. And when you compare it to the raw price, for whatever reason, it's only maybe about $5 difference, $10 different. And again, if you have a bunch of trading credit, or maybe it's a card you don't see often and it's clean, then maybe you make the play, you use that trade-in credit, even if it's like $5 or $10 difference. You also have to factor in, because GameStop charges taxes, and I think it's $6.99 shipping for each card, which is annoying. That's one thing that GameStop, it does bother them. It's like, oh, why can't you just offer free shipping? I mean, you're spending so much money on these cards. Free shipping is not going to kill you, but I feel like they nickel and dime with that stuff. It's kind of frustrating. You just got to play around with it, because again, not every card is a good deal. It's not worth it. Or again, that trading credit, you can just put all that into like a bigger slab. Maybe a PSA 10 slab that is worth a good deal, and you don't have the cash for it, but you could trade in a bunch of smaller slabs or things you don't care about to get something bigger. It's another option if you're into slabs, of course. So that's something I do. So there's definitely little plays and tricks you can do to make it work for you. But let me show you what I've been working on. I don't have much. I'm just gonna let you know. It's only a couple pages because I don't buy often for myself. It's little by little. So this is pretty much what I'm starting. I used to have like Sword and Shield, not Sword and Shield. Some Scarlet and Violet stuff, but I got that all out, and I sold it at my shows. So this one to focus on. I love cards like these. I feel like they're super underrated. And again, a few of these cards, like again, I did my GameStop thing. Sorry, let me back up. And I cracked them at the slab, put them in here, and they're pretty clean. I feel like GX cards are slept on, right? I mean, and the EX. These are all really nice to me. I like that. Latios is sick. Hopefully you can see that. I had this Rayquaza card went up like super crazy, by the way. I had that in a PSA 10 slab, and it should be going up to auction once again. Hopefully Sunday with Arizona TCG. So we got this right here. Don't worry about my face. Sorry. Oh my goodness. It's hard to do standing up. So we got some of that. These are very nice too, these EX cards. I highly suggest getting some of those. And what else do I got here? Let's see. Okay, and I think this is the last page right here. You're gonna like this page. These are clean. Beautiful right here. Bam. Yes, sir. I love the Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno, which I got from a vendor friend of mine like a year ago. We did like a trade, partial trade, cash deal, and I got all these Charizards from him. They're all pretty clean, near mint for the most part. I think one of them might be like LP. That's everything. I have a few more cards coming in that I'm gonna put in there, but just taking my time with it. There's no rush for this stuff, I mean, stuff's expensive, right? Stuff's going up, so I try to make it work the best I can in terms of my finances. If I could take stuff in a trade, this or that, so I'll make it work for you. Final thoughts: don't overpay on 30th. I just showed you what you could be focusing on, because a lot of people just follow others or what they hear or see on social media. Please ignore these videos. 30th, it's now or never. FOMO, you're gonna miss out if you don't buy now. It's the perfect investment. You'll be stupid if you don't buy this stuff. I mean, look at the prices. It's ridiculous. It's expensive. Nothing's MSRP. Good luck getting an MSRP. Hell, I ain't waiting. I have not waited in one long line to get sealed product, and I will not wait in one long line. Not worth it. You got to look for the opportunities where when everyone else is focused on another thing, the newest thing, because they follow what everyone else is doing or what they see on social media, do opposite. All right, focus on these cards. These cards are beautiful. I mean, to me, they're not even in the same category as the modern stuff. A lot of the modern stuff is boring to me. It's bland. There's nothing exciting about it. Of course, there's exceptions, right? And there are some cool cards. Don't get me wrong, but I love vintage. I love vintage. Sun and Moon. That's not really considered vintage, but those cards. There's beautiful cards. Sun and Moon. XY. All those sets prior. Keep an eye out. Try to get clean copies if you can. If you don't care, fine. You'll save money if you don't care if they're, LP, MP, HP. And that's it. I hope you enjoy the video. If you watch or a new viewer, leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite set is at the moment, or what your plans are in terms of what you're going to be buying in the upcoming months or year. All right, guys, thanks for watching.